Well, well. Welcome to my talk show.
Take a sip from your soul on a metaphysical milkshake.
Tasty chicken burger. Sure.
You may be a billionaire,
Yeah.
entrepreneur, inventor, man extraordinaire. You're not getting any of my chicken burger.
All right. No problem. I can do without the chicken burger.
It's so good. Mr. Musk, can I call you Mr. Musk?
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Musk helped co-create PayPal, and then Tesla Motors, and then, if that's not enough, SpaceX, and now you're in solar, what's it called?
Right.
Solar City?
Solar City, yeah.
You may be the first billionaire that has ever been in the back of a van before. So as you know, this van has some very special, peculiar qualities. Where you want to go, anywhere in the universe.
Mars. Wow, we're there.
Why did you want to go to Mars?
Because I think that's the best place where humanity can become a multi-planet species and a spacefaring civilization, because I think that's one of the most important things that we could accomplish. In fact, I think it's important enough that it would actually fit on the scale of evolution itself. You know, I think it's perhaps at least as important as life going from the oceans to land. The probability of consciousness existing for a long time would be much greater if we were on two planets.
Why would consciousness exist for a long time if we were on two planets?
Oh, because if something catastrophic would have happened to Earth, then
Right.
it would, life would still exist on another planet.
You are much smarter than I am. So I just want to say that for the record. Now, how would that work for people to go to Mars? Like, what would happen?
Well, you need to have a big spaceship that takes you to Mars, and then you have to land on Mars.
And then what do the humans do when they're there?
Well, I think initially,
Volleyball or what?
Initially, people would work on creating a Mars base. People would have to live in pressurized domes, but over time, you could terraform the planet and make it like Earth.
But it's cold over there on Mars, isn't it?
Right. So you have to warm it up.
You'd need a lot of down comforters over there.
You'd actually heat the planet up by emitting greenhouse gases. Kind of what we're doing on Earth. We're learning a lot about that here on Earth. So we just do that on Mars, and that would warm the planet up. It would thicken the atmosphere. And then the atmosphere on Mars is carbon dioxide, so as you grow plants, the plants would convert the carbon dioxide into oxygen.
You can grow Earth plants in Mars soil.
That's correct.
Now, does the ship come back?
Yeah.
When you go to Mars, are you going to go like, I'm going to die on Mars? So you take healthy people that are just going to plan on living the rest of their 30 or 40 years on Mars or something like that?
I think most people would go to Mars to move to Mars, but the spaceships would come back, because otherwise it would be way too expensive to travel to Mars.
Could you imagine the first baby born on Mars?
Right, that'd be huge.
That would be freaky,
Yeah.
right? A lot of pressure for that poor kid.
Right.
He'd be a Martian.
The first Martian.
The first Martian!
That's right.
What is it like to be named after the scent of an animal?
It certainly led to a lot of mocking in junior high.
I
that's
know
for
what
sure.
that feels like. My name
Right.
is Rainn.
Right.
So I totally believe in science. I mean, science isn't something you believe in. It's something that just is. But you had referenced kind of the reverse climate change. But what drives me crazy is the climate change deniers. And what is up with that? Is it just become so politicized that they
Right.
just have stopped believing scientists?
And I think often the debate is phrased in the wrong way, because they'll often say, well, how do we know for certain that CO2 emissions cause global warming? And if you ask a scientist, do you know anything for certain, they will generally say, well, no, we don't know for certain, or we know hardly anything for certain.
Right.
But the overwhelming opinion among the scientific community is that CO2 is causing global warming. And given that we will run out of oil anyway, it doesn't make any sense to put trillions of tons of CO2 in the atmosphere and see what happens, which could be catastrophic, when we have to find a non-hydrocarbon-based way of generating and consuming energy anyway.
Now,
So it's just a dumb experiment.
Can I borrow $1.3 billion just for a month? I'll pay you back.
All right.
You got started as an entrepreneur when you were really young. What would you say to young people that want to change the world, that have big ideas? What advice could you give?
I mean, the biggest thing I think people fail to do is that they're too afraid to try things. You know, that they shouldn't be afraid of failing, and they should just go and do it.
Lightning round. Boom. What do you worship?
Well, I don't really worship anything, but I do devote myself to the advancement of humanity using technology.
What can technology never replace?
I think human feeling,
What fuels your creativity?
pressure, necessity.
What do you do to unplug and relax?
I go to Burning Man. That's pretty fun.
Did you go to Burning Man?
Sure.
What do you do there?
It's just like a crazy sort of Mad Max meets Vegas meets Alice in Wonderland.
Do you put on a hippie wig?
No, I usually have some kind of costume. I went as Darth Vader once.
Do you believe there's life on other planets?
I think there's a good chance that there's simple life on other planets. It's much more of a question as to whether there's complex life like consciousness.
With all the trillions of stars and all those trillions of planets, you don't think that, isn't that an arrogant statement to say we're probably the most evolved in all of the universe?
Well, no, I'm not saying that we probably are. Just I think that the chances of consciousness are much lower, particularly in our galaxy.
Can science and religion coexist?
Probably not.
Okay. Do you pray?
I didn't even pray when I almost died of malaria.
Wow, that's really not praying.
Right.
What's your life's big question? What's the big question you personally wrestle with?
The question of what is the question? Like from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer is the universe. What's the question?
One of the world's greatest entrepreneurs is here in the back of my van, talking about how he had these dreams, space travel, new energy sources, building cars, being a real-life Tony Stark. What's your big ideas? How do you want to be an entrepreneur? What kind of passion or dream do you want to pursue to make the world a better place, to take humanity to the next level? Can you upload it on a video or write it down in the comments below? Elon, would you look at the videos in the comments?
Sure, absolutely.
Great. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a bite. You give me a Tesla.
Sounds like a good deal.
Deal?
Deal. Shit.
Yes! Score!
SoulPancake, subscribe!